Have you ever set a new goal, started out super strong, and then, well, a few weeks later, you're right back where you started? Yeah, we've all been there. Today, we're going to crack open the science of why that happens, and more importantly, we are unpacking the playbook on how habits are really formed and how you can actually, finally, change them for good.
So let's just start with the big one. The question I think every single one of us has asked ourselves, probably around January 2nd. Right after that bold New Year's resolution already feels like it's slipping away. What is going on? Why is this so difficult?
Well, if you've ever felt that frustration, you need to know this. You are so far from being alone. Research shows that about 75% of people fail to stick to their goals. That is a huge number. But the good news is this isn't some personal failing. It's a cycle, and it's a cycle we can absolutely break once we understand what's really driving it.
We love to blame a lack of willpower, don't we? If only I were more disciplined. But the truth is way more interesting than that. See, our brains aren't lazy. They're incredibly efficient. They're hardwired to follow this powerful automated loop that, honestly, willpower alone just can't compete with most of the time. Think about it like this. There was this great MIT experiment where they put mice in a maze to find a piece of chocolate. Now, at first, their brains were firing on all cylinders, working really hard. But as soon as they learned the route, their brain activity actually plummeted. The path became automatic. Our brains do the exact same thing all day, every day, just to save precious mental energy.
And this is so fundamental to how we work, that a stunning 40% of the actions we take every single day are not conscious decisions. Think about that. They're habits, just running on autopilot. Almost half of your day is guided by these pre-programmed routines you've built up over the years.
Okay, so let's get into the mechanics of this. If you want to change a habit, you first have to understand its architecture. And thankfully, it's this beautifully simple three-part cycle that's running constantly in the background of our lives, for both the good habits and the bad ones.
Every single habit you have follows this exact pattern. It all starts with a cue. That's the trigger. That trigger launches the routine, which is the behavior itself. And it all ends with a reward, the thing that tells your brain, hey, that was good. Let's remember this loop for next time. Cue, routine, reward. Simple as that.
Let's map this onto a habit we all know a little too well. The cue, that feeling of boredom when you're waiting in line for coffee. The routine, you automatically pull out your phone and start scrolling. And the reward, a quick hit of distraction and entertainment that makes the boredom go away. The brain just loves this loop. It's so efficient.
And get this, these loops are stored in a really primitive, powerful part of our brain. There's this incredible story of a patient named Ujin. After some severe brain damage, he literally couldn't point to the door of his own kitchen. But when a researcher asked what he'd do if he were hungry, he just got up, walked directly to the kitchen, and grabbed a snack. The habit was still there, even when his conscious memory was gone. That's powerful.
So, that brings us to the crucial point. If these habits are so automatic and so deeply wired into us, how on earth do we actually change them? We can't just wish them away. Well, the secret lies in hacking that three-step loop we just talked about.
And here it is, what's called the golden rule of habit change. You don't fight the cue, and you don't try to ignore that craving for the reward. You keep the cue, you keep the reward, but you swap out the routine in the middle for something better.
This is a perfect example of how it works. Let's say you want to cut down on caffeine. The cue is waking up in the morning. The reward you're craving is that warm, comforting ritual of having a morning coffee. Don't fight it. Just change the routine. Brew decaf instead. You get the exact same satisfying ritual, the same reward, just without the caffeine. It's brilliant.
Okay, so the golden rule is the core concept. But to really make change stick, especially when life gets busy or stressful, you're going to need a few more practical tools in your belt. So let's build out that toolkit right now.
First thing, we have to respect the limits of our willpower. It is not some infinite resource. It's a muscle, and it gets fatigued. You know, if you spend all day resisting distractions at work, that muscle is exhausted by the time you get home, which makes it way, way harder to resist the junk food or drag yourself to the gym.
So instead of trying to overhaul your entire life at once, a much better strategy is to focus on one single keystone habit. This is a foundational habit that causes this amazing positive chain reaction. Starting a regular exercise routine, for instance, often naturally leads to healthier eating and better productivity because it starts to change how you see yourself.
Now this might be the most powerful tool of all. Don't rely on willpower, change your surroundings. The cues that trigger our habits are so often in our environment, which means we can make change dramatically easier just by redesigning the space around us.
So what does this look like in practice? Well, if you want to stop a bad habit, you increase the friction. You make it harder to do. Unplug the TV and hide the remote. If you want to start a good habit, you do the opposite. You decrease the friction. Don't hide your guitar in a closet, put it on a stand right in the middle of the living room. The goal is to make the right choice the easy choice.
Here's another fantastic technique. It's called habit stacking. You find a habit that's already completely automatic for you, like turning off your alarm or brushing your teeth, and you literally chain your new desired habit directly onto it. The old habit becomes the cue for the new one, and it helps automate the process so much faster.
Now, you can have all the best techniques and toolkits in the entire world, but the research is crystal clear on this. None of it will stick for the long haul without one final crucial element.
This right here, this is the foundation for everything else. You have to genuinely, deeply believe that you are capable of changing. Because without that underlying belief, when things get tough, and they will, the old loops will always be there, waiting to pull you back in.
So how do you build that belief? It's not about just hoping for it. You build it with evidence. First, find a community. Seriously, being around other people who are on the same path or who just believe in you is a total game changer. And second, create a series of small, undeniable wins. Start with a goal that's so small you almost can't fail. That victory becomes proof, and that proof builds the confidence and the momentum for the next, bigger step.
But that's really what we'll leave you with. All of this science, all of these strategies, they ultimately boil down to this one simple question. Forgetting about the massive, life-changing goal for just a second, what is the one tiny, almost laughably small win you can create for yourself today to start building the proof that you can, in fact, change?